Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Hey, welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I am the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I'm Jay.
And today is a listener suggestion. So shout out to Connor, the elephant keeper.
Oh, wow. The elephant keeper.
Mm-hmm. He's the keeper of the elephants.
That's right.
I'm trying to buy an elephant right now.
How's it going?
I found one for sale. I'm just not allowed to own it in this state.
I thought so. Yeah. That's rough.
But you can apply for a permit. And I'm like, if I hire Connor, I have an actual person that's...
You got an inside man.
Funny enough, that was Connor.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. But,
his ears were ringing.
Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, my head's really on fire, and I'm just asking if you're talking about me again on the show.
Yeah. That's what he texted you.
Mm-hmm. But no, so today he suggested talking about Prototaxites, or Prototaxia, which were thought, so these aren't, this is interesting. So this isn't Freaky Fauna Friday. This isn't Freaky Fungus Friday. This isn't Freaky Flora Friday.
What's left?
So Prototaxites were thought to be, you ever heard of like when mushrooms were trees?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, that's them. The giant pillars.
Right.
We just found out recently, as in this year, they are not fungus.
Oh.
So they did, so I'll read some stuff from them. They're structurally and chemically distinct from all extinct and extant fungi. So that means all extinct fungus and all modern fungus.
It's a whole different thing.
So we think these guys represent an entirely distinct branch of life. So animals, fungus, plants, eukaryotic and prokaryotic, viruses. These guys are another branch off that whole thing.
Gotcha.
And we're going to talk about them. They're considered Earth's first terrestrial giants.
Okay. So these are the trees before the trees.
Yeah.
Before the sharks.
I mean, before anything.
Okay, good. Didn't know if that was right or not.
Yeah, way before sharks.
Okay. So these are older than sharks, but sharks are older than trees.
Yes.
All right.
Trees are relatively very new.
It's just the wild timeline, when you really unwrap it.
But yeah, so the Prototaxites were considered the first giant organisms to ever live on the terrestrial surface of Earth, represented by giant column-like fossils that were up to 8 meters tall.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. From the early Devonian.
Okay.
Can you name any Devonian animals?
Oh, I don't know.
So this was like placoderms, which are another, so they're not an extinct whole branch of life.
Okay.
But they're an extinct whole group of vertebrates.
Oh, okay. Are they ungulates?
No. Well, they're not. So they're completely way back from all of that.
Before all that, okay.
Where they would have had 6 limbs.
Oh.
So, modern day fish, if you look at modern day fish, they have 4 fins we consider limbs. And then they have kind of 3 or 4, depending on the species of fish, associated fins.
Okay.
So if you look at, it's what we're talking about is pelvic and pectoral fins.
Right.
Where they actually have muscle groups and stuff. And lobed fin fish, those are the ones that actually have limbs inside their fins.
Okay.
And then their extra fins, like their dorsal, their anal, and their tail fin, and then the adipose fin on some fish, don't have it. They're just attached to the body.
Right. They don't
directly. There's no limb associated with them.
No, it's more like just a rudder or something, kind of.
So placoderms either had 3 or 6.
Okay.
It's very odd. So for dragons, I'm always saying that with dragons, there's no vertebrate that had 6 limbs. Placoderms did. But that's from this time period.
Okay, so
old.
when
old and weird.
Yeah.
These are some of the weirdest, looking animals and plants and fungi that ever existed. And these guys are right in the middle of it. We're titans on the landscape. Yeah. So early Devonian. However, its systematic affiliations has been dated back for over 165 million years there are now 2 remaining variable hypotheses that these guys were either fungus or a member of an entirely extinct lineage of life. And most scientists are now leaning towards that.
And that's hard for me to like understand or wrap my mind around. Like, what is that then? It's just something we've never experienced before then?
Yeah, it's not a plant, it's not a fungus, it's not an animal.
Yeah, see, that's weird to me. Like, what is this? What is it?
Its own thing.
Yeah, I know.
Prototaxites.
I know. But I'm just saying, it's hard. It's hard for my brain to make it work.
But yeah, so they basically, how this came to be is organization studies of extinct and extant fungus and molecular compositions show that they weren't anything even like the fungus of their day.
Okay.
Or modern day fungus, we're talking 407 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Modern day fungus still share chemical and structural similarities with those fungus.
Yeah. These
guys didn't even share that with the fungus that were their neighbors.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's really hard to explain. So fungus for anybody are much more closely related to animals. That's why a lot of fungus tastes like meat. If you look, there's beef hearts and chicken in the woods, and lion's mane tastes like shrimp. They are meaty and they move. They're actively moving through the soil.
Right. Yeah.
And if you listen to Cribs of Corn, the main show, we've gone highly in depth into fungus of how like the mycelial networks kind of crawl through the soil, communication, everything like that. They're their own thing. They're not like an animal. They're not like a plant. If you had to make one closer, they're much more like an animal than they are a plant. But they're not like either things.
Gotcha.
So these prototaxites were like that, as in heavily distinct from the other 3 main groups.
Okay.
And they were the giants of the day.
That's wild. Imagine walking through all that.
Have you ever seen like drawings, artist depictions of these things?
Yeah, I've seen it. Well,
they draw them green, but we really don't know
what color they are. Yeah,
I've seen people actually show that they may have been purple.
It's like a big 20-foot tall lobed blade of grass.
No, it's thick.
Right, lobed, like a.
It's to me, it's
like a lobed fin.
They look like obelisk.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I'm saying like how fins are flat and thin, but lobed fins are round and that's what I'm saying. Like a big lobed grass blade, not thin, just a big pillar. It's weird.
Yeah, they're very column-like.
Yeah.
So like I said, a lot of artists depict them as green. We don't have any findings for that. Like I said, some people think they were actually purple.
What if they were mirrors, like like glass, and that's what was popping up out of the desert? Where was that in like the Grand Canyon and all those other weird spots?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole research article that came out. It's like 50 or 60 pages. I'm just reading the extract for Freaky Fauna Friday because it's really neat. I mean, these guys were gigantic, but they used tons and tons and tons of stuff. But we really didn't look into them that hard because they thought they were fungus. So it just nobody really cared because they thought they were fungus. But yeah, so compository fungal structures are distinct. If they were fungus, they are completely unique in the fungal family. And most people that have been researching them just do not believe that anymore. So these internet organisms are best asserted as their own extinct eukaryotic lineage.
Okay.
So multi-celled lineage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 25 feet tall, giant, thick pillars. Any questions so far?
Well, are we going to get into like how these things grew or what they fed off of or?
I mean, we don't know a lot about them.
Yeah, I figured we didn't, but.
So to me, they almost look like, even their structures and everything, and I'm not an expert in this whatsoever. They look much more like giant land corals.
That's interesting thought.
They're not coral. I mean, there's tons. That is just the outside look of them. But yeah, just giant green pillars. We just don't know a lot about them. Where these guys, specimens are extremely preserved in 3 dissections and provide significant materials for microscopy and molecular analysis. They fossilized extremely well. There's been side-by-side comparisons of the molecular fingerprints of these guys with fungi of all taxa in the Rayleigh chart, which is a chart of fungus.
Oh, okay.
They have experienced the same diagnostic histories. This approach, combined with studies of molecular composition, organization, anatomy of these giant creatures, basically undermines the hypothesis that they were giant fungus. Rather, they thought they were a crowned group of fungus, more generally. But yeah, they're not. We really just don't know what these things were. So for this, it's just, life is amazing, and humans absolutely love to put things in boxes.
Oh, for sure. We got to categorize everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense, though. You have to. And you know what I mean?
Why?
Just so you can keep track of everything.
Why does that matter?
Because that's how our brain works. Our brain organizes and...
Right. I agree.
Okay.
I'm agreeing. I'm just...
Oh, you're probing why. Okay, yeah. We organize, we put everything in its own little file and its own little, folder, and it's filed away in the brain, and it's just, if not, everything would be chaos. It would just be a tangled web.
Why is that not fine? I mean...
Because you wouldn't be able to pull it out. I don't know, recall it, or...
But yeah, so these guys would live in giant colonies, roughly termed. It's hard because you don't know what and why and everything like that. So did these things move? We really don't know. We don't think they did.
Right.
Well, we don't know. Were they moving at such a slow rate that, it took 100 years for them to move a mile?
Well, it's something that tall, too. It's got to be somehow attached to the ground, gripped, so a breeze don't blow it over, or so it's got to be anchored somehow into the ground. Or they have little feet, maybe?
I don't know.
Right. Or were they immobile and they rooted to the ground?
So yeah, basically, let me get to this.
What?
The absence of strong evidence supporting the autotrophic and mixography. There's growing consensus that prototaxites were heteromorphic and possibly stratomorphic. This evidence of these prototaxite fossils historically entirely interwoven masses of tubes. So that's the underground part. So
what if instead it wasn't, like you said, it's not mushroom, it's not a plant, it's something just weird.
It's its own thing. What
if it was just giant fossilized hair follicles off a giant?
Yeah, there you go.
And you find them in bunches because it's his head.
So this is talking about the underground parts we find that they're interwoven. Like they meld into each other and out of each other.
No. Well, and that's just how it fossilized, right?
Sure.
So we don't know. I mean, if they actually were, or if that's just, it got buried, in a big flood and it fossilized that way.
So the main theory right now is protaxiates derived energy through lichen-style symbiosis.
Ooh, okay.
With a photobotanical and achieve such large structural sizes in the ecosystem with spheres of decaying organic matter. There have been no conclusive evidence of this, though.
Yeah, I mean, unless we have a time machine. What if it is like a lichen family relative?
It does not. Nothing about this is lichen. They find lichen growing on them, lichen fossils growing.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thought, is that they actually have these little, in their fossils, they actually have, it kind of looks like scales in the fossils, but they think these were bubbles where they were growing colonies of lichen inside their body, like keeping them contained.
Yeah.
And you farming the lichen or symbiotically raising the lichen.
Huh.
And the lichen were feeding them. And that's why they would grow in these giant pillar structures for surface area for sun.
They're just lichen hotels?
Yeah, well, yeah, at least for feeding.
Yeah. Huh. What if the lichen made the structures to grow in?
I doubt it, but okay.
I don't know. That would explain why they're just weird.
Lichen are their own extremely weird group.
Oh, too. I know. Yeah, that's the stuff that grows on rocks and things like that. People see.
Yeah, it's normally pale green or teal or whatever.
It looks like it could be I don't know, I always compare it something you'd see in the sea, like barnacles growing on something.
Yeah, they look very much.
But it's just, yeah.
And that would make sense because this is talking, we don't know, but like I said, looking at the fossils, to me, it really just looks like a gigantic coral colony, but that's an animal.
Yeah.
And these aren't animals because the structural shell is alive. So in coral, it's dead.
Oh, okay.
It's built around them.
Right.
They build that actively, like more like an ant colony.
Yeah.
Where the coral is the thing living inside.
Yeah.
So structurally, they look like coral, but looking at the fossils, you can see that the whole thing of this was alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering if it is something. What if it was something smaller, like not microscopic, but something to that on that scale, tiny, but there are hundreds of thousands, millions of them building these structures.
So the structures aren't built. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
the
grown.
Structures are alive.
Yeah.
The structures are every bit. When we're talking about coral, that's dead exoskeletons glued to the outside.
Right.
You can see that very easily in even a fossilized coral. You can see that very easily. These aren't that.
Right.
The structure is every bit alive. There's no dead zone. There's no shell. There's no exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
It is all one giant living thing.
Yes.
I mean, it fossilized very well. I'm looking at pictures of the fossils right now. It fossilized extremely well. You can see, like, it's not a vascular system, but it's equivalent. Where you can see it running down through it. You can see the cells. They were probably hard because of this.
Mm-hmm.
We're just guessing because of how well they preserved. It would make sense that these things were, harder.
Were there big animals at this time or no?
On land, no.
Okay, so no.
There were barely like insects.
Right. This is way, way, way old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to. I don't know.
No, that's what the thing is. These guys were terrestrial giants when their next biggest competitor was about centimeters tall.
So I wonder. Yeah. So if they're the biggest thing on land, it would have to be at the time. They'd have to be. I mean, for fuel, for food. I mean, obviously collecting whatever from the air or just giant filter feeders, maybe.
So that's one thought. I've seen that here talked about them basically being giant freestanding sponges or being algae farms or being decomposers.
Yeah.
Or even, in a way, actively feeding.
They're giant hesterdindies. That's all they are.
There you go.
They're collecting everything.
Drop from space.
Well, I meant more or less, not that, but that they're actual creatures, but they're basically recreating hesterdindies. They're just trapping everything and then they eat it.
So that's how tardigrades do. And they don't eat everything. But that's why they think tardigrades could be one of these things that spread life through the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they have a fungus plant, and like an algae and everything in their gut.
Yeah.
Where they harbor their own ecosystem. So one of the thoughts is that they may have had oceanic relatives that we just haven't found yet. We just haven't found these things yet. And they brought the oceanic ecosystem with them. And so these are their like giant pioneer hotels. So the body of them, they needed to bring their own ecosystem with them to survive on the land.
Yeah.
And they did. That's one thought, because they have these weird structures. And that's where the lichen theory comes in, or the algae hotel comes in, is because they seem to have structures to house other organisms.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to imagine too. They were the first giants on land, right? So
by a long shot.
So they have to somehow. It's not like they can grow that way on their own. Something had to push them to be that big. And
that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, it's the lack of competition could have just made them that big. I mean, there's no, at that point, there's no competition.
Other than themselves.
And there's no restrictors. There's nothing eating them, and they went extinct very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that just shows that they probably weren't extremely efficient.
Yeah.
At whatever they were doing. They were, the only reason that they survived and got big and took over for so long is because they had no competition. The second, we're talking like giant fungi, real giant fungi, and even stuff like really, really simple plants came on, they disappeared.
What if these guys just were there to grow big and fast to allow the next stuff to eat them and decompose, the feed off them, so the next stuff can catch up and grow real fast too. So just to kickstart the earth, these things are kickstarters.
I mean, they may have been. I really like the ecosystem idea that these guys were just, the first giants to come on land, and their version of survival was, well, I'll take the ocean with me.
Well, too, I bet, on land, it wasn't just a desolate wasteland as far as, nothing existed, on land.
So these guys were pretty much, you needed water, right? So
yeah. Well,
we're talking in this time, a large portion of the surface was toxic.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying life still finds a way, right?
Yeah,
So I bet you there was a lot of like microscopic organisms flying through the atmosphere and flying.
Oh, sure. I mean,
and these guys maybe found the way to go from land to, or from sea to land for the first time. And what's the only thing you can eat on land at that time when there's nothing besides microscopic flying around? So they just keep growing bigger and bigger to collect more and more. And then when something else caught up, like, oh, well, that's out.
Yeah,
now we're going to eat you.
It seems like they just did not do well once anything else came on the scene.
That could probably consume them at all.
I'm not even saying consume them.
Yeah.
Just outcompete them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they were trying, the things were faster or better at it, or, and they just went away.
Mm-hmm.
But they were ecosystem engineers. It seemed like a lot of our first land ecosystems were all built around these things.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because, like we've already talked about, they're just terrestrial monsters.
Because if they were able to pull stuff, from the atmosphere, the air, and use it for energy and grow, then whatever comes next now has that source of food and energy where they don't have to pull from the air. They got these giant pillars of nutrients, I would imagine. So that would just help everything else then catch up a little bit. And now flash forward, a billion years, and here we are.
There you go.
No, I don't know about that.
500 million.
There we go.
410, but
yeah, I don't know. They're very, very odd and interesting, and a lot of, I guess, mystery still surrounds them, huh?
Oh yeah, like they're just everywhere though. They dominated for a long time, and then they just disappeared.
It's nice knowing too that they're not a fungus because it just opens up that thought of, what really is going on. Like, how did things start? I mean,
I think there's stuff today that doesn't fit into any definable category that we have, and we just keep shoving. Well, I mean, we've been talking about plasmoids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People think, like we've talked about, that they have membranes and DNA, which would put them onto our tree of life somewhere.
Just where?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, there you go. These are actually the first plasmoids.
There we go.
They were energy towers to collect lightning.
There we go. We figured it out. Enough. We peel all the layers back and we expose the truth.
I have been the Great and Peaceful Mystery.
And I've been Jay.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.